Right. Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to show you how to add the demo project for the FPS game that we're going to build together. Also go through some of the tutorials, so that way you can kind of see how each of these elements works together and be able to submit your assignment. So to start the project, the first thing that you're going to do is go into projects and you're going to see this right here. And it'll show you a list of things. So these are some games that I'm working on with other classes. What you'll pick is you'll pick new project, and then it's going to have these sections right here. So the one you want is the one that says learning, and then you're going to click FPS Microgame. Now, in the case of if you've never downloaded this project before, you might see something up here that says download template. So you just have to click that, and then you'll see a screen that looks like this. Once that's here, I'm going to just call this the name of it. You could also just leave it as default, and I'm going to leave everything else basically the same. I generally don't click this, I just leave it blank, and then you're going to hit create project. And once the game loads, it's going to look like this. So you're going to see a few basic elements in this. Now the whole idea with these tutorials, as you can see, I've done these four right here, is just to get used to how the editor looks. So on the left side, you're going to see it's called the hierarchy, and this is just all of the stuff in the scene. So if you look around, you can see, for instance, that all of these elements are here. And if you click on something, you can see that it's highlighted right there. So if I click on the floor, you can see there it is. And there's a bunch of different floors, and these are all kind of folded in together just to make it easier to find different stuff. On this side, you have what's known as the inspector. So I'll just click on this enemy here, and it shows you all of the attributes. And it does look very complicated at first, but the basics are pretty simple. It's just telling you where it is in this grid, which is the game world. And I'll zoom out some so you can see. So this is the 3D game world. You can see any scripts that are attached to it to make it move. And that's basically what the inspector does. This is the scene view. And then in the middle, if you click game, that's what the camera is going to see. Also, at the bottom, you're going to see project, and then you're going to see the console. The console gives you information about errors for the most part. For this class, you'll see it occasionally, but you won't be working with this too much unless there's an error. But this gives you all of the different things that are in the files. Now, for this first assignment, what you will be looking at are the tutorials. If you don't see these on the right, if you go up here to tutorials, you should see something that says show tutorials, and then they will appear right here. You can change the layout and everything. So this is how I kind of get it going. So first, if you double click it, you're going to see that the screen will look like this. And then it's going to tell you, you can highlight right here and hit start, and then it will go through how to play the game. So if I hit play right now, I'm just going to follow this blue writing like this. Okay. And then you have your game, and you can kind of run through, and you can see I've got the robot and everything. Okay, and there it is. Okay. And if you only are looking around with the mouse, if you hit the escape key, then your mouse cursor comes back. As you can see, it's telling me to highlight stop right here, and then it will tell you what to pick next. So it's saying pick the player game object, and then it's saying to change the gravity down force. So again, this tutorial is kind of taking up a little bit more of the window here. So I'm going to expand it some just so I can see it a little better. And you can see it says gravity down force, and it tells me to change it to 12. Okay. And when you finish one, it's going to have a check mark. You click next, and then it's going to tell you to test it. And you just want to see how different this part of it is. So if I go here, again, it's going to start, and I'm just kind of paying attention. Does it feel like I can jump a little bit higher? And it does. I'm going to hit stop, and then I'm going to hit done. It's going to say save, and then I follow it from there. Now, one of the parts for this, again, it's usually will show you the window, but this one in particular, as you go through it does have an issue, so I'm going to just explain this one here. When you click on add a room, it's going to, again, go through all of these toolbars. So it's going to highlight what you need, and it's telling you to select the move tool, which is up here. And then you can click and drag around or pan around, as it said. And then you go to next. And if you hold Alt, you can rotate. You can also hold the right mouse button to rotate and look around. And then you also have the view tool. So if you use the mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out like this. All right. Now, this is the one that the directions, if you click this, it tells you a little bit more. But this folder here is where you're going to have a lot of most of the things that you're going to need. So if you go to FPS right here, and then you go into the folder that says prefabs, and then you go into the folder that says level, you'll see something that says rooms, and then it's asking you to drag in this room. So if I click and drag, it'll look like this. And then you can pick this move tool, and then you can move it around once it's in the scene. So you're going to see this is the x-axis, it's left and right. This is the y-axis, which moves it up and down. And then this blue is the z-axis, which looks like this. All right, now it's also asking you to update the nav mesh surface. And so again, it's going to highlight it for you. So you can also search for things right here, but this is what it looks like. And then the next step is it's going to ask you to click bake. And what this does is it makes it so that if you put enemies, you can actually like navigate it right here. And again, this is kind of blocking what I need it to, but you can see right there that it will say bake right here. Okay. And when you click bake, then it will be done. And again, I'm going to hit save. So the majority of the things that you're going to be using for this tutorial are going to be in this folder here. And so when it tells you like to change the color of the floor, it's all going to be in this folder right here that's called FPS. So after that, add the room one, you're changing the color of one of the floors, and you can see that happen in real time. But I'll also just show you like when I hit play here, this room that I added and some quick things that I changed, you will see those reflected almost immediately when it's recording. So I have this, and again, whoops, that was kind of embarrassing. Okay. And now if I go into this room, you can see that it's right here. Now I do have a bit of an issue because I didn't put this like quite on the floor, but I can immediately like go in and interact with it and move around. Few other controls: if you hold C, you crouch. If you hit C again, you stand back up. And if you're moving and hold shift, you dash. Okay. So those are the basics for this tutorial. I think this is a really good, like fun game that you can add to. There's not many mechanics. And it is a good introduction to the Unity editor. So I hope you have fun making the game and playing it. There's also a second level if you wanted to try it. So it's under FPS. And then if you go to scenes, you'll see the secondary level right here. And again, it's similar, but it's got a different layout. It has some different weapons and things like that.